People like you always ruin neighborhoods like this. No class, no respect, just noise and cheap lights.
That's what Karen said to me, loud enough for the entire street to hear. I was standing in my driveway, holding a box of extension cords, when she marched up like she owned the place. Her red blazer looked too tight for how angry she was, and her face had that permanent annoyed expression, like the world had personally offended her. Behind me, my house was glowing. Warm white lights lined the roof. Blue and gold wrapped around the pillars. The big Christmas tree in my yard shimmered like something out of a movie. Kids from down the street were still standing near the sidewalk, staring at it like it was the best thing they'd seen all week. And honestly, it probably was. I looked at her for a second, trying to decide if she was serious. "Morning to you too," I said calmly. She didn't smile. Not even a little. "This is a violation," she snapped, pointing at my house like it was a crime scene. "A big one. Actually, several." I set the box down slowly, already feeling where this was going. "Violation of what exactly?" "The HOA guidelines," she said instantly, like she'd been waiting for that question. "Excessive decorations, disruptive lighting, visual disturbance. Should I keep going?" I let out a small breath and glanced back at my house. A couple of neighbors were watching now, pretending they weren't. "Kids like it," I said. "This isn't about kids," she cut in sharply. "This is about standards. People move here for peace, not whatever this is." That tone. That little pause before whatever this is. Yeah. This wasn't about lights. This was personal. I nodded slowly, not giving her the reaction she wanted. "Well," I said, "good thing it's my house." Her lips tightened instantly. "You'll be getting a notice," she said. "And if this isn't corrected, the fines will be significant." Then she turned and walked off like she'd just delivered a final warning. No discussion. No compromise. Just control. And right there, I knew this wasn't going to end with me taking down a few lights. 2 days later, I came home to an envelope taped to my front door. Not mailed. Not placed neatly. Taped like a threat. I peeled it off and opened it right there on the porch. Notice of violation. Even the font looked aggressive. Inside was a full list of complaints, typed, highlighted, and way too detailed for something as simple as Christmas decorations. They had measured brightness levels, noted the number of light strands, even mentioned crowd formation on public sidewalks. I almost laughed at that one. At the bottom of the page, in bold, $5,000 fine if not corrected within 72 hours. I read it again. $5,000 for lights. That's when the annoyance turned into something else. Not anger exactly. More like challenge. Because this wasn't about decorations anymore. This was Karen trying to prove she could control what I did with my own property. And I don't respond well to that. That evening, I didn't take a single light down. Instead, I added more. If they were going to call it excessive, I figured I might as well give them something worth complaining about. I reinforced the roofline, added moving patterns to the tree, synced the music a little tighter. By the time I was done, the whole house looked like it belonged in a holiday commercial. And sure enough, people showed up. Cars slowed down. Neighbors stood outside longer than usual. Kids pointed. Someone even clapped when the lights synced perfectly with the music. And across the street, I saw Karen standing in her driveway, watching, not smiling. The HOA meeting that week was exactly what I expected. Cold room. Folding chairs. That weird smell of cheap coffee and paper. Karen sat at the front like she was running a courtroom instead of a neighborhood meeting. When my turn came, I held up the notice. "So this is real?" I asked. $5,000? "It's a consequence," she said calmly. "For what?" "Being festive. For violating community standards." There it was again. That phrase. "Show me where it says I can't decorate my house like this," I said. She opened a binder immediately, already prepared. "Section 8.3, she said. Decorations must be modest and in harmony with neighborhood aesthetics. I leaned forward slightly. Modest isn't a rule, I said. That's your opinion. A couple of people in the room shifted in their seats. Karen didn't. It's enforceable, she replied. No, I said, shaking my head. It's vague. And vague rules don't hold up. For the first time, there was a pause. Not long, but enough. Then she smiled. Just a little. You're welcome to challenge it, she said. Something about the way she said it made my gut tighten. In court. And just like that, what started as Christmas lights turned into something much bigger. A few weeks later, when I got served legal papers at my front door, I thought back to that moment. Because she wasn't bluffing. Not even a little. And that's when I realized, if she wanted to make an example out of me, I was about to make one right back.